Good afternoon. Welcome to Investigator News, and this is the Weather and Lifestyle News Show. And we're changed things up just a little bit this week, and we hope to grab a few new viewers in this time slot. And weather, it looks like it's warm out. I'm in the south, so in Arkansas, and we have a warm front right now that's in the state. And not only that, but we got the cold front fixing to clash. And it looks like it's going to go right over Missouri and Oklahoma and um, Kansas today and tonight. And then tomorrow, it looks like we get the active weather. Good evening, Miss Judith. Do you like this time slot, Judith? Um, I've been getting a lot of emails saying some like it, some don't. Some say they'd rather have me in the morning. Um, and what it is we get a lot of viewers at this time. So I'm trying to grab onto those coming home from work and uh, those that usually are rewatching the show at this time. So, all right. Yeah, the time has changed. I had a ad out for it, but Facebook for some reason held on to it for like 6 hours. I guess they liked it, the jazzy little music that goes with it. I don't know. I thought it would go right in and everybody would know yesterday, and of course it was late. So I'll rerun it a few times next couple days. So yeah, now we have, instead of the morning weather show, we have weather and lifestyle news show. I had to give it. I was going to call it Afternoon Delight with Ellie, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm that big of a delight. Uh, I'm sure the hell funny sometimes. So I'm pretty corny. So the southern corny news is what I'm going to get labeled as. You watch. Uh, so we have weather, and it looks like the hurricanes are all kind of fizzling a little bit, and we'll just have to see if we got any more coming up. The Weather Channel didn't list any, and that's who I use is the Weather Channel. They let me have their weather lady, and they don't hit me up with a copyright. So, all right, so let's get right to the weather, and boy, you should see the earthquakes
Here's
lining
a
up.
look at your national forecast, and we'll start with the Northeast. Man, a beautiful day today on the way. 60s and 70s with plenty of sunshine in the forecast. Now, back through the Midwest and the plains, there's the rain in the forecast. Watch out. In places like Chicago, Indianapolis, even back through the plains, we could be looking at some strong storms later today, wind and hail. Down to the south, you were dry today, but that forecast is going to be changing. And out to the west, 70s along the coast, and we'll have 90s in the desert southwest. And we'll see that on Wednesday as well. So those low to mid 90s keep showing up from Vegas down through Phoenix. We have 69 for the high on Wednesday in San Francisco. Now, up to the north, Wednesday, we have, well, a clearing skies through parts of the plains, but for the Midwest, you'll still have some rain. Down to the south, there comes the rain for you, and it could be heavy at times. Into the Northeast, you hang on to another dry day on Wednesday.
So, as you guys can see, I am going to have some weather tomorrow. They say it's in the evening time, so we'll just have to see if you guys get to hear it. Boy, I'd like you guys to be able to hear all the good stuff, with all the sirens and uh, well, when the sirens are going off, that means I got to go hide in the closet. I got a perfect closet for a tornado. It's my tornado closet. Now, I think me and my dog will fit in it, that big old thing I got. She's the size of a Great Dane and still growing. I don't know. I thought bird dogs were like Labrador size, not Great Dane. She's huge. Judas, y'all see how big this dog is. I mean, she's huge. Maybe because I'm short. I'm getting shorter. Mm. So, all right. So we're going to move on to um, what is really odd is you don't always see the Weather Channel warnings about earthquakes. And, after looking at the earthquake map, I said, oh, I see what they're talking about. So, Southern California fault could produce an earthquake 4 times stronger than previously believed. Now, I think they're Yeah, stretching a little bit. Um, I don't think it's going to be like a 10, or I don't think it's going to be the super quake they keep wanting, I should say. The Weather Channel is kind of like a friend of mine. He wants the severe storms and be right in the middle of it until it happens. And then all of a sudden they don't like it. So, all right, I'm not going to take up too much time. I got a lot of stuff for you guys today. Wait till you guys see Buzz Lightyear. That's a cute story. All right, so here we go. And it's through the Weather Channel.
Previously believed, according to a new study, and the resulting damage would be greater than anything the state has experienced in more than 150 years. The Palos Verdes fault zone, which spans 70 miles of coastline in Los Angeles and Orange counties, was previously thought to have the potential for a 7.4 magnitude quake. But thanks to new data, including information from oil drilling sensors in the ocean, researchers have created an updated map of the fault. They now believe it's capable of a 7.8 magnitude earthquake, which might not sound like much more, but actually would release quadruple the energy of a 7.4. That type of force would almost certainly result in loss of life, damaged buildings, roadways, and other important infrastructure. The danger of a large earthquake is a constant in California, but one of the study's authors says that the latest findings are not a major cause for alarm because a quake of this magnitude on the Palos Verdes fault is unlikely to happen in our lifetime.
Isn't that a pretty picture of California? Why has it got to be so ugly with politicians? Such a beautiful state. All right, um, so they're saying a 7.8. I don't know. So I'm going to move in with the earthquakes. Here we go. I got this map to work today. So as you can see, everything's kind of choo-choo trained around, and then it's all clogged up. They just had one, I believe it was Walker, I believe Walker, California, had just recently had a 2.7. And the other new one is Smiley, Texas. It's at the very bottom of Texas, almost to the coastline, that had a 2.7. So the ones that really concern me is over on the Ascension Island North. It's the mid eastern um, Atlantic Ridge fault line, and it was a 5.2. Um, then we had some are piling up around Puerto Rico with uh, point threes. Then one in Mexico, Placita de Morelos, Mexico, 4.4. Um, and then now where it starts the choo-choo train, because it goes kind of clockwise. So if we start at Fiji, they had a 4.6. Then it went over and it got a little stronger to 5.3 at Port Olorai, Vanuatu. Then it moves over to the Solomon Islands with a 5.2. Now, the next one where it starts connecting to go up towards Japan is the one in Indonesia at 4.5. Now, once we get up to Japan region in the Uzu Islands, they had a 4.8 and then 4.6. Now, um, then it went up with the Curl Islands. That was a 4.6. So the fives kind of dropped off as it went up and around. Then all of a sudden there's clusters up around Alaska. So they had some on uh, Unalaska. Where's Karen for Unalaska at 4.7? And then Lake Lewis, Alaska, that's the top, and it was a 2.7. Then it kind of another cluster around Juneau, which is really odd for Juneau, but you have a lot of volcanoes in Alaska. Then it all right around Petrola, Eureka, what's the other? Ferndale, um, what's the other one? Trinidad. That is all up around Eureka and Crescent City, California, and there is a cluster. Now, I must say, these people got to be feeling these because they're so often. And so, if you see, let's see if I can blow this up a little bit so you guys could see it a little bit. Uh, uh, I guess, no, not really. All right. So, down here in Mexico, and where everything kind of choo-choo trains, and it's like a little train with a bunch of cars, and we got them around Japan. Then we have them up all the way up and around Alaska. It doesn't go, it doesn't spread out, and this is what's really concerning me. And then it comes down, and then where it breaks, the big break, one of the fault lines goes out to the ocean and up, and there is a ridge right there that Dutchson's talks about, and he even warns about this. So it's really quiet down in South America, and then it's quiet all the way up to Mexico, and then there's that cluster. So I could see where even the Weather Channel is saying there's one that just happened in the Uzu Islands, just had one, 4.9. Um, so I could see where they're talking about it, and Dutchins is talking about in between, I'm going to say Eureka and probably Mexico. There could be a good size earthquake. Now, the ones off, uh, we had one in Tajikistan of 5.1. Then we had one in Turkey of 5.0. And then one over in the Ascension Islands, I think I said that, of 5.2. So, and down on the Bird's Head, Sandwich Islands of 4.8. And these are very spread out. So, I'm really starting to think that we're going to see something in between Mexico and um Chile, and then Mexico and Northern California. But I can't really predict earthquakes. I'm just going on what I've learned from Dutch sense. And this is what he taught me, that the earthquakes go in between the two bigger ones. And when they start running in clusters, then you're going to get a cluster, and then it usually clusters up on the following where an earthquake is, which would be Mexico. And it's kind of centered out there by itself. So, and then, folks, guess what? We have Italy's Stromboli volcano erupts, producing pyroclastic flows. Um, and I was very surprised with this, and you could actually see it, and they actually caught it on film, on video. So here we go. I think it's all music. And that's all steam and ash. And you could see the lava flowing down it. Maybe I ought to turn the sound off. I'll probably get it for the music. Um, but look at that. That is just the lava flow. It reached the sea. It was such a big blow. Now, what happens with that? They say that the ash, boy, I'm going to put it back on one of the better pictures. There you go. The ash cloud will go up, and it does get into the jet stream, and it will cause cooler temperatures. So this is over in Italy, and it depends which way the wind is blowing. So it could really cause Europe to have really super cold weather, and this is something they don't need. Get this. Um, um, I know it's a little bit of news, but um, over there in Germany, they are now they're not allowed to go get wood, so now they're buying horse and cow dung to burn because they're cold, and they have no electric to um, be able to heat with, or propane, or natural gas, or now they're looking at wood stoves. So it's getting bad. It's getting really bad over there. I wish they would just turn the gas on and not worry about what they wouldn't worry so much. Not only that, I think over in the other news is something about cowbirds. Um, some ranchers, I believe it's over in Europe, are going to get charged a fee if they have a bunch of cattle for cowbirds. I don't know if they're going to go count the cowbirds or what. I didn't get to read the whole article, but they're just getting silly over this. Um, so this day in history, October, well, it says 10th. Maybe I'm a day late. Um, The sailors were executed by hanging at sea, including the teenage son of sitting Secretary of War, forcing the Navy to professionalize training. This was a naval school that was founded in Maryland in the wake of the shocking scandal. This was in 1845 when the Military Institute renamed the U.S. Naval Academy. The school was established in following the discovery of a planned mutiny on the Atlantic Ocean aboard the U.S. Navy brig Summers. Where's William for this? I wonder if he knew about this. So, three sailors were executed on high seas, including, like I said, the Secretary of War, John Canfield Spencer. And so, what it was is they staged a mutiny, and these three guys, because they did that on high seas and on the ship, they went ahead and executed these guys. So on this day, back then, there was actually a mutiny on one of our navies. And you know they're wanting to change bases, names of bases now. Um, I can't. I don't think I have it. But yeah, that's what they're wanting to do. So they want to um, definitely start changing things out. New names. Why can't they just leave them? Why do we got to rename? Can't we just leave it? When are they going to start renaming these statues that they don't like? What about Mount Rushmore? That's just, I don't know. I think they're going to end up covering Mount Rushmore up. I think that's what they're going to, and the Statue of Liberty. I think those are their two biggest threats, and it's so sad that our country's come to this. Burning our flag, our wonderful flag, and renaming statues, pulling statues down of our forefathers. All right, Hurricane Ian Hero. Um, it's a Maryland fighter that uses his ham radio, and he was able to get through on the proper channels of rescues in their boats. And this is something you can do on a ham radio or a radio, a CB radio with what they call sideband. Um, and this is not many people do this anymore. The CB industry was hot in the 70s. And then, everybody got their antennas, and then the phone, we ended up with cell phone, bag phones, and the ham and CB radio went laying by the wayside. But this guy used it, and thank goodness he did, because there was more rescues because of him and his radio. Uh, because he was able to get a hold of people a little bit different than the phone lines or phone service. So he helped rescue a group stranded during the hurricane. And he is an amateur ham radio operator with an interest in any news or weather event. And he's been keeping an eye on it, he said. And so he said this was big news. And thinking about family members who lived in Sarasota and Florida and Clonlin, he said, and his wife were pretty concerned about the storm. And so him being a ham radio operator, boy, he's got a good setup. Check this out. He's not only got a computer setup, but he's got his radio set up right there too. Wow. So that's what he did. And he said, everybody didn't have internet or cell phones. And so he uses it to help. It used to be, I don't know if they still have it, Channel 9. It was an emergency channel for people with CB radios. Um, so this man is a hero, they say, because he did help in an unusual way. Maybe an old-fashioned way that we all may need to go back to. Don't throw away your radios, folks. You might need it, because what happens when the cell towers go out? When they cut our cell towers, then what? Well, you throw an antenna up on your roof, and they're not very big. You still have yours. I still have mine. I still got the antenna and everything. It's sitting in the, well, yeah, I think I do have my antenna. I still have the radio. Hold on to it, Judith. I'm serious. Make sure you got you a good power supply. because what happens, like this guy, what happens when the cell phone towers get cut or gone, and we need a way to communicate. It's only going to be what the government wants us to hear. And it's all going to be government regulated once it goes to an emergency state. And that's pretty much what happens. And it tells you to tune in on this channel. Uh, yeah, there goes the duck and cover theory, huh? So I like this guy. I really do. And so we're going to move on. Um, Now, speaking of volcanoes, there is, oh boy, uh, Klyachevskaya Sopka. Um, it's a volcano, a Russian volcano. And there was some climbers that decided to go up there, and they basically died. The accident occurred about 1,600 meters below the 15,000-foot summit. A report cited the Kamchatka region, said that these 8 climbers, a group of 12, which included 2 guys, began climbing the volcano. And the 8 climbers were believed to have fallen to their deaths. Um, that's why I don't like being tied to anybody when you hike. If they go over, you go over. No, I don't think I'm not. I love to hike, and I did early on, and I don't know about that. But it is an active volcano. But look at tied of 8 people tied together, and one goes over, the rest of them goes with them. Uh, and they do that when they climb them Mount Everest and K9, K9, K12 summit, the big one. Ellie, don't do those. No, I don't need to go up that high. I like to on level playing field because I'm so scared of heights. So, all right, so onward. I know you guys are just dying. Where's the drum roll for this one? Every year there's the big old pumpkins, and boy, they're ugly when they're that big. But the winner this year is it's 2,560 pound pumpkin, and it here I'll show you. I think they're ugly this big. I mean, how do you even carve a face in that? That's just like the blob. You can make it into something scary maybe. But yeah, there it is. It is the winner this year of the biggest pumpkin, and it was the crown winner at this year's Way Off. So wow, this guy, I bet you he's proud of his garden, and um, his name is Geinger, and he also took first place in 2020 with another one that was a 2,300 pound. So, yep, like I said, we're getting into the contest. Boy, the Bears. Oh, oh boy, I don't even know how I can even talk about it. Well, somebody got crooked in the bear contest, and somebody decided they were going to scam the bear Why would someone want to mess with and scam a bear contest? Because it wasn't even they're bears. These are wild bears. I mean, some of them are maybe in enclosures, but they're trying to ruin the contest. And now they're saying uh, some of them didn't include it on their tickets, and some people went off and did it on their own, like we did. Because I had a feeling. Um, but so now you'll have to watch. Coming up at the next hour on the news. I'm going to read the article as best I can because you can't really say a lot of um, how they picked the bear. It's a vote thing. And you can't really talk about that much on YouTube because they don't allow you to talk about um, um, the, the election. I hope I don't get in trouble. So, yeah. So, going, gone for this year. So, what will next year pumpkin bring? Will we see a 3,000 pound pumpkin? We could. All right. So, going solo. Oh, yeah, going solo. So, what do we have here? A French automaker, Renault, and I know you've heard about the Renault cars, has revealed today a new one passenger electric vehicle designed, designed to be driven without a license. And he said he envisioned this when he seen many people were wanting to use golf carts. And he said, so his company, Renault, wanted to make it so even a single person could, they can do it just around subdivisions and side streets. You can't take it on the main streets, highways, or any of that. But it's used for a simple around the neighborhood and shopping. Uh, I don't know. I could get one of these, um, folks, because I said no, I'm not going to get an EV car. But you know what? I could go for something like this. It's a cute little thing. It's just a one little seater, and it don't even have a seat belt. You don't even have to have a seat belt. They said, um, and it could be operated wearing a helmet or a seat belt if you want, and is steered with a joystick-like controller. Now, my grandson would love that. Anything with a joystick, he loves. Uh, so this is very interesting. They said that they're going to put the price very reasonable. It didn't. It's not giving me a price. Doggone it. Um, it's estimated. The range is it could go 87 miles between charges. So me, I got a little. We got like the schools across the street from me, and at the end of the block, you kind of go around the corner and through the school, and there's a little neighborhood Walmart right there. That would be perfect for me, just to zip over there to Walmart and get some things at the store and come back. So yeah, I kind of like this little guy. All right, so um, keep an eye on it. I'm going to keep an eye on it. Maybe I might just look into what it costs to get one of them things. Be perfect for my property too. Uh, it means it's expensive. I know. I'm gonna look it up, and it's gonna be 50,000 for this little one seater thing, and I'm gonna go, huh? No, I won't. Well, now what do I do? I'm gonna buy a golf cart. That's what's going to end up being. Okay, so this next one is um, some rescuers. And I'm glad they found this cat. It was in Boston, Massachusetts, and it got much needed help after getting her head stuck in a very tight spot. A resident found a kitten wandering along the 200 block of Danforth Street with what appeared to be a glass bowl or light fixture on its head. And the social media went crazy over this. And the 6-month-old kitten um, was spotted along the street by a bunch of residents, and they had seen it wandering around for about an hour or so before they realized this cat wasn't getting this thing off its head. So they went ahead and they got a hold, and it's only a 6-month-old kitten. It was a little guy, and so he was spotted along the street by a lot of residents, and they finally got a hold of him, and they were able to safely remove the container off of his head. And so they decided they were going to name him Buzz Lightyear. And of course, they found a cute little home for him. Here you go. It's I don't know if you can see it too well. That's the only picture they have of it, and you can't really see it even when you got the picture. Um, but yeah, so uh, they named her Buzz Lightyear. It's a little female 6-month-old kitten. So all right, um, I thought that was a real cute story. But there's even one even better. Um, there was, and let me show you this little guy. Um, and what are beavers good for? Building dams. You would think that's all they do and all they think about. But um, these are some, it was three of them. And there was a young boy in Ontario, Canada, was out on a camping trip with his parents when he decided to go fishing. And he strayed and went down shore further and further. And um, then uh, uh, he basically witnessed his parents' a boat tip over, and panic stricken, he attempted to walk to the nearest town to get help. But then it got dark, and he didn't know what to do. He couldn't help his parents. So he laid on the ground and he was very traumatized by this. And he said he felt like uh, a warm, furry body that was laying next to him. So he thought, thinking it was maybe a dog. And so he went ahead and fell asleep. And lo and behold, when he woke up the next morning, three beavers were laying there trying to keep him warm. One was kind of over the top of him where it looked cold. One was up against his back, and the other snuggled up around his tummy. Um, and so they did go back and find the parents. Um, um, his parents did drown and lost their lives in this river. And luckily he wasn't in the boat. And if he would have been in the boat, he probably would have perished with his folks. But they said he would have maybe even died of hypothermia if it wasn't for the beavers. And these were good sized beavers, they said. Um, they were about the size of a small dog. So they kept him warm all night and kept him from getting hyperthermia. So, even beavers can save a child. Um, so, with that, we are on to um, um, our funny list for the day. And today is computer viruses. Now, I'm going to go over a few because we have quite a few new people. And I'm going to go over the new ones. So some of these are like old news, Ellie, and some of them you probably haven't heard. So, um, so these are computer viruses. Beware of the new outbreaks on computers everywhere, such as the Oprah Winfrey virus. Your 200 megabyte hard drive will suddenly shrink to 80 megabytes and then slowly expand back to 200 megabytes. Oh boy, I hope she doesn't know about this. AT&T virus. Every 3 minutes, it tells you what a great service you are getting. MCI. Every 3 minutes, it reminds you you're paying too much for the AT&T virus. Paul Revere virus. The revolutionary virus does not horse around. It warns you of impending hard disk attacks, uh, and once if by land, twice by sea. Politically correct virus. It never calls itself a virus, but instead it refers to itself as an electronic microorganism. All right, Ross Perot virus. Oh, we hadn't heard about Ross Perot in a long time. All right, it activates every component in your system just before the whole damn thing's quit. Yeah, that sounds right. This must be old. These must be old lists. All right, so how about Arnold Schwarzenegger virus? Terminates and stays a resident. It'll be back. All right. Dan Quayle virus prevents your system from spawning any child process without joining into a binary network. Okay. I'll have to read that later again. Maybe it'll click. Government economists. I bet it click for a few and they're giggling. Government economist virus. Nothing works, but all the diagnostic software says everything is fine. Yeah, that sounds like our economist right now. New World Order virus. Probably harmless, but it makes a lot of people really mad and thinking about it. Federal bureaucrat virus. Divide your hard disk into hundreds of little units, each of which does practically nothing, but all of which claim to be the most important part of your computer. All right, the Gallup virus. 60% of the PCs infected will lose 38% of their data, 14% of the time. Okay. Texas. Make sure it's bigger than any other file. Okay. Adam and Eve virus. It takes a couple bites out of your apple. That's cute. Congressional virus. Um, the computer locks up, the screen splits erratically with a message of appearing on each half, blaming the other side for the problem. The airline virus. You're in Dallas, but your data is in Singapore. Public television virus. Uh, Your programs stop every few minutes to ask for money. Yeah, there you go. And I think it's going to turn that way. All these, Judith, do you remember having so many commercials? I mean, it's you watch a show and there's 15 minutes of commercials and an infomercial in between all of it. And you're like, can we just watch the show? Oh, yeah, there's really starting to get a lot of really long ads. Um, all right, so where was I? Public television virus. That was it. Elvis virus. Your computer gets fat, slow, lazy, then self-destructs only to resurface at shopping malls and service stations across rural America. Well, that don't sound like Elvis. Elvis, uh, what is it? One of his songs, "There Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog." I could just see him eating, what is it, fried pickles and fried chicken with waffles and singing "There Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog." Uh, as his computer takes selfies with him. That would be a better one. Ollie North virus causes your printer to become a paper shredder. Ha, yeah, that's a fact. Um, uh, Nike virus just does it. Sears virus, doggy dogs. Yeah. Um, William Boy, you missed out um, of a mutiny in, I think, 1850 with the Navy. Did you hear about that? That they were going to overthrow the naval ship. Mutiny. And they assassinated three guys over it. Huh. So, all right, so Sears virus. Your data won't appear unless you buy new cables, a power supply, and a set of shocks. Jimmy Hoffa virus. Your programs can never be found again. That's right. Congressional virus runs every program on the hard drive simultaneously, but doesn't allow the user to accomplish anything. There you go. And put it over there with the resolutions. Uh, Star Trek virus. Invade your system in places where no virus has gone before. Yeah. Um, Healthcare virus. Tests your system for a day, finds nothing wrong, and sends you the bill for $4,500. Ah, yep, that's it. George Bush virus. It starts boldly, stating, "Read my documents, no new files." uh, on the screen, and it proceeds to fill up with the free space on your hard drive with new files, then blames it on congressional virus, and then gets a Schwarzenegger to come back and fix it. I'll be back. Yeah. Oral Roberts virus claims that if you don't send $1 million, its programmer will take it back. Oh boy. So I know I'm going to go through about 10 of these. There's a bunch of them, there's 100 of them. So I'll go through 10 of them. These are bucket list ideas. We're all getting, I don't know, at 30 years old, I guess you're planning your bucket list from now on. 20-year-olds say they don't want to work and they're going to work on their bucket list at 30. So maybe some of these will help them. It text some random number saying, "I killed him and hid the body in your backyard." Now I've seen that on one of our other lists. So hang out around the city as Spider-Man. Oh, that'll get you arrested. Um, just make sure got that stuff in the spider webs you can shoot and tie up the cops with, and run. Be able to run real fast. All right, follow a friend or a group of friends around for an entire day. Take pictures and shout the names of your friends to make everyone else think they could be somebody. All right, glue quarters to a street in the crosswalk and photograph people who pick them up. Oh boy. Yeah, that would piss off quite a few old ladies. Put a quarter, or even glue $1. That would even really make me people mad. Okay, glue quarters to a street. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of good laughs. Especially if you get some people really old, they'll drink that Ripple, and then they'll do stuff like that, I bet. Randomly choose a guy in public place and act like he's a long lost friend. No, that could get you hurt. I don't know about that. That might get you hurt. Uh, Buy a parrot, and even if they can be annoying, once you have said parrot, um, teach it to say help. And say and teach them to say help. I've been turned into a parrot, and then take it everywhere with you. All right. Somehow get one of the message written to me by my high school yearbooks published. Uh-uh. All my high school friends bug me. Uh, They all, and then they look me up first, and then they get a hold of me on Facebook, and then they want to be my friend, and then they go, "Wait a minute, you're a conservative? When did you become a conservative?" They In school I was like a class clown. Um, I think a lot of people thought that I would end up doing something like this. But anyway, uh, no, it's okay. We don't need my yearbook brought out and published. All right, kiss a complete stranger. Oh no, 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 and make it a good no. No, we don't kiss strangers. That'll get you kidnapped. You would have to get really drunk before you do something like that. When would you go up and kiss a stranger? What about you, Judith? People over in watching, put down in the comments. Would you just go up and kiss a stranger for like a joke? No, 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 no. Not even make it a good kiss. No. Yikes. Can you imagine the reactions? You could either be kidnapped, or they could kill you. They could get really angry. What about their wife? They might have a mean wife. No, you could end a marriage doing that. Oh no, no. Bad idea. Bad bucket list idea. Bad. All right. Throw water balloons on strangers and hide. Oh, that'll get you in trouble too. That's like kissing strangers. Um, Name one of my children after the place they were conceived, preferably Vegas. Huh. One would be Arkansas, the other one would be Sacramento. Um, Boy, that would be really cool. I bet the kids would love those names, Sacramento. My son Brian probably would love being called Sac. Sac, yeah, I'm Sac. Yeah, I'm bad. Bad to the bone, Sacramento. All right. Throw a t shirt on that says life across it, and then hand out lemons to random people and watch them go speechless and probably try to figure out what's going on. Why not give them an orange? At least they could eat it. All right. So that is it, folks. We had a lot of fun today. In about 15 minutes, I've got uh, the world news. And so if you tuned in and expect world news, nope. Um, it'll be world news in 15 minutes. I got quite a bit and some really good stories today. Um, we have a lot going on still in Ukraine and some of the bad stuff that comes up with it. Um, Also, we are looking maybe at maybe some other wars. So maybe it's good to watch the show and giggle a little bit and have a laugh and make your evening go by a little bit happier, a little bit more uh, not so stressed. So give a lemon and give it to a stranger and be sure to have life. And no kissing strangers. No. All right, folks. So subscribe and share. Hit that like button. I see a few hearts. Thank you very much. And we appreciate all the support. We love it when you watch us. So, with that, we will see you tomorrow morning or tomorrow morning. See, I'm used to the morning. Tomorrow afternoon, same time. And tomorrow, after the show, will be the World War III report with me and William. I know William's getting excited about this new time zone. I am. I'm liking it. All right. So you guys take care. Subscribe, share, hit the like button, hit the bell. Um, I'm running three platforms, one on the network and one on Investigator News 2. Those over on the network, and I'll probably do this for about a week, and then I'll just stick over here again. So if you want to be able to watch me move over or add yourself to Investigator News too. And over in Facebook, hit the follow and the like. And we will see you very soon in 15 minutes or tomorrow afternoon. Bye bye, folks, and God bless.